First of all, a warm welcome and good evening to all the participants. Thank you all for giving your time to hear me out. Well, these have been challenging times for the markets. Now, if you look at the equity markets from the lifetime highs, we have seen a major corrective action in the Nifty index. 3,000 points lost, and this has happened in a matter of 2 months. Many people have been clueless. It has come as a surprise to most of us. And even if you look at the broader market breadth, majority of the stocks, I may say that out of the entire universe, majority of the stocks have almost lost over 25% from the life highs. It has been a one-way fall, and really, this has taken all of us by surprise, as I may put it. Now, do we see this as an opportunity? Do we see this as a bottom? Or is there some more pain left in the system? These are the questions which keep on disturbing us from time to time, because here is where you need to put your fear factor aside and show the gut factor needed to pick the dips in the market at the given juncture. Now, if you look at the volatility index, it is trading at the bottom of 15%. So really, one thing is very clear here is that the fear which is attributed to the volatility index is at 15%. So fear is not at its high. It has kind of stabilized. So really, it is the price which is taking us for a ride, which is apparent looking at the volatility index. And really, things should stabilize from here is what we understand. Now, you would be surprised to know that the rollovers for the Nifty for the December month is around 79% versus the 76% historical 3-month average. Now, what do you actually mean by this is that majority of the market participants who have been short in the Nifty in the last couple of months, mainly the HNI people, have taken their positions from the November series to the December month, and majority of them still are prevalent on the short side of the market. This is what the data suggests in the derivative segment. And if you look at the options placement, there is a significant positioning at the strike of 23,500 inputs, and we attribute this to support in the market because we go with the assumption that a lot of put writers are prevalent at the strike of 23,500. Where is the resistance? 24,500 is where there is a strong presence of call writing. Now I'm taking this on a combo of both the monthly as well as the weekly expiry. So this is a broader backdrop of where we start the December series. Really, how would the roadmap be? यहाँ से निफ्टी कहाँ जाएगा आगे जाके? एक बॉटम हो चुका है कि नहीं? तो ये सब सवाल आज के वेबिनार में आपका मैं एड्रेस करने की कोशिश करूंगा. So I'm of the opinion that there may be some volatility in the initial part of the December month, and the broader data setup makes me believe that there is a very low probability that Nifty may revisit the low of the November month. So खतरा टल चुका है for the time being. That is what my assumption is. दिसंबर मंथ के लिए जो लो हो चुके थे for the prior month, वो शायद revisit ना होंगे. Even if it gets near the level of 23,400, 500, you can expect some recovery back again. Now, why are we saying this is that if you look at the technical parameters here, there is a chart which I have placed in front of you here. We have reversed from a very significant point, which is a 200-day moving average. Now, 200-day moving average has a very special relevance in technical analysis. And plus minus 100, 150 points is the buffer which you need to give. And from the levels of 23,500, we did see the market respecting the support zones and staging some kind of a resilience or a bounce back. So 23,500, 400 zone में काफी डिमांड है मार्केट में, ये मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि ये एक अच्छी रिकवरी हमें एक्सपायरी के पहले वाली वीक में हमने बहुत सारे मार्केट स्टॉक्स में और मार्केट में देखी हुई है. दूसरी चीज है, if you look at the Fibonacci retracement, if I were to take a retracement of the entire move from the lows which we saw somewhere during the election results in the month of July, where there was a panic low which the markets had hit, if I take that lowest point to the all-time high, somewhere or the other that 61.8%, which is a very important Fibonacci technical support, that works out to around 23,200. So मेरा strongly एक belief है कि एक bottom फॉर द टाइम बीइंग बन चुका है बाजार में. एक रिकवरी अटेम्प्ट करना ही चाहिए मार्केट में फ्रॉम द करंट लेवल्स, एंड इफ दिस रिकवरी मैच्योर्स, there is a very good chance that we might see the recovery rally moving all the way up till the levels of 24,700 on the upside. अभी अगर आप एक सीजनैलिटी पैटर्न देखेंगे, नॉर्मली हाउ द डिसम्बर मंथ प्लेज आउट, टिपिकली डिसम्बर मंथ इज नोन फॉर अ मंथ वेयर द डाउनसाइड्स हैव बीन ऑन द लो, ऑन स्मॉल. तो ज्यादा गिरता नहीं है कभी बाजार दिसंबर महीने में, और जब भी बढ़ता है तो बढ़त इज ऑलवेज ऑन एन एवरेज ऑफ अराउंड 2 to 3% मिनिमम फ्रॉम द लो पॉइंट्स. सो रेस्ट एश्योर्ड, दिसंबर एक पॉजिटिव महीना रहता है. Second half of the month becomes a bit dull historically because the FIIs go on the New Year leave, and normally the volumes kind of dry out in the market. That's the historical tendency which we see in the month of December. Global markets work at a very slow pace. The activity there is slow, and that's the reason you do not see much of an action in the second half of the December series. So my sense is, if you have to go long, the risk reward ratio in terms of going long year is very good, because आपका जो रिस्क है, अगर आप एक रिस्क स्टॉप लॉस लगा के 23,200 के नीचे स्टॉप लॉस लगा के काम करेंगे, और इफ यू आर एबल टू पिक अ स्ट्रॉन्ग अपसाइड फ्रॉम हियर, रियली देन इफ इट हिट्स अ टारगेट ऑफ 24,700, आई वुड से डू नॉट बुक प्रॉफिट्स. वी कैन इवन रिविजिट द charts and see if there is more momentum left ahead from the index from that particular level. So risk reward is excellent to go long at the current levels. Have your shopping list of sectors and stocks, because stocks have significantly corrected, and it is only about how much you can get your best bets on, get moving at the current levels. That is what it's all boiling down to right now. So have your shopping list ready is what we have been suggesting, because these are good bottom lows which you need to look forward to if you have a short to medium term view on the market. Now Bank Nifty, here is where the pain point is, because it is at a resistance of 52,500. Really, we are at a resistance. Whether it will break out or not is a question mark, because if you look at the price parameters of Bank Nifty, last 4 months it has been in a range 50,000 on the lower end, 52,500, 53,000 roughly on the upper end. That's how the Bank Nifty has been trading. Now this December month, the rollovers have been significantly high, around 77% significant addition in open interest. Traditionally, the 3-month averages highlight that 68% is normally the positioning. Here the rollovers are significant. It means that something big is going to happen probably in Bank Nifty in this particular month. So keep out watch the breakout levels. Possibly once breakout of 52,500, 52,700 level breaks, you can see a strong uptick in the Bank Nifty. So keep a watch on this space. It has been range bound, it has been choppy, but once that breakout happens, you will see a strong directional move being building in the bank index. The second slide, bottom हो चुका है कि नहीं, ये एक सवाल जिसे मेरे प्रेजेंटेशन में मैं एड्रेस कर रहा हूँ, क्योंकि बहुत लोगों का बार बार हमें ये सवाल आता है कि और डर है क्या, क्योंकि जो मिडिल ईस्ट की क्राइसिस है, जो थोड़े से जो यूएस से हमें जो भी एक फीलिंग आती है कि वहां पे शायद जो डॉलर इंडेक्स है उसमें अभी भी बढ़त बाकी है. लॉट ऑफ फैक्टर्स कीप ऑन बॉदरिंग अस, बिकॉज it's been a very rough ride for the markets lately. But let me tell you, from a sharp 10% correction, there are bottoming signs in the market, and I have also giving you the technical logic, the Fibonacci supports, the moving average supports. These are all coinciding somewhere or the other around the levels of 23,200, 23,500 zone. So expect some recovery rally soon. Individual stocks, a great way to start investing. Go for SIPs if you have some question mark or a doubt whether a V-shaped recovery would happen or not. Use the SIP method. Go for gradual buying in this market. But let me tell you, 30 to 40% correction from the all-time high is really a very good opportunity to get long in many of your favorite counters at the given juncture. strong revival of capex also is expected as we move ahead, because the budget season will start from February. People will start getting that the kick and the talk of the budget about what possible things can come in. The government is now really stable with the Maharashtra elections being done and dusted. People now have more clarity. There is a chance of continuity in the positive momentum and the policies which have been in place, and all this bodes well for a very strong foundation before we move into the budget in the month of February. So all this, the moment, or the whole action will start a month ahead as to what will be the possible sectors one can look for. Because if you think about the budget, once we near the end of January, it will be too late. You have to be ahead of the curve and start thinking in advance. So I believe this is the right time to take an entry in the market. The long short ratio. What is long short ratio? Is what is the placement of the FIIs in terms of the long bets to the short bets. अगर आप देखेंगे तो फ्यूचर्स में, जो इंडेक्स फ्यूचर्स में है, वो लॉन्ग शॉर्ट रेशियो गए कुछ दिनों में एक बॉटम बनाया था 22% लॉन्ग्स. लास्ट 1 वीक में इंप्रूवमेंट हमें दिखी है फ्रॉम 22 to 35%. सो ग्रेजुअल इंप्रूवमेंट एटलीस्ट इन द फ्यूचर स्पेस इज रेलेवेंट, इंडेक्स फ्यूचर्स में, क्योंकि अभी तक कैश मार्केट में वो काइंड ऑफ पिकअप मिला नहीं है. पर मैं कैश मार्केट में आपको एक चीज बताऊंगा कि अभी जो FII का होल्डिंग है, इट इज ट्रेडिंग एट अ डिकेडल लो ऑफ 16% compared to the historical averages of 23%. So यहाँ से अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि ये decadal low से और बिकवाली होगी, major sell off आएगा, this thesis has very low relevance. So the chances of at least the FII holdings kind of bottoming out around the 15-16%, showing a gradual improvement or a recovery from the current levels, that scenario looks probable. And from here, I don't think there will be some aggression in selling. It will fade out soon. And even the data numbers, if you see the aggression in FIIs, that is fading off in the cash market too. And that all gives us a sense that there is going to be a recovery rally which will happen very soon in the market. Now, what will be the sectors you should be looking forward to in this market? Now, for the month of December right now, we will take baby steps. We won't go full throttle on, aggressive in the market, because the market will give you time, will give you opportunities. It is not going to be a V-shaped recovery or rally. It will be a gradual move. So, if you look at the sectors, one is the pharma sector and the second is the oil and gas sector. Now, if you look at the pharma sector here, the pharma sector has seen a strong recovery or a bounce back on the first day of the new series, that's the December month. बहुत सारे नाम, ग्लेनमार्क, लुपिन, औरोबिंदो फार्मा, अब कोई भी फार्मा स्टॉक आज के दिन में उठा के देख लीजिए, बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बाइंग हमने देखी हुई है आज दिसंबर सीरीज के पहले दिन पे. तो दैट्स अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग इंडिकेशन. फार्मा का चार्ट अगर आप मेरे दाहिने लेफ्ट हैंड साइड पे देखेंगे तो आज एक बहुत ही बुलिश कैंडल हमने देखा है ये इंडेक्स और सेक्टर में. गए 4 दिन का जो पूरा नेगेटिविटी था, एक ही कैंडल ने पूरा कवर कर डाला. अगर आप पूरा उसका दौर देखेंगे फार्मा सेक्टर का, गए 3 महीने में सेक्टर दबा हुआ था, काफी प्रेशर था इस सेक्टर में, थोड़ी सी बिकवाली देखी हमने. बट आई बिलीव दिस सेक्टर इज नाउ ट्राइंग टू शो अ यू टर्न और अ रिवर्सल मोड. सो हैव अ वॉच. There will be good gains in this sector. That's what my sense is. And also it works as a defensive bet in the current market conditions. So pharma is the first bet for me in the month of December. I believe there is a good opportunity which presents for us in many of the names, Sun Pharma, Cipla, and some other names I have given you. Easily 4 to 5% upside from the current level is what I look forward to in majority of the pharma names. Now, the second sector, that's the oil and gas sector, where I am betting big on. Why? Because again, if you look at the last 3 months action in oil and gas, crude oils के चलते जो कोरिलेशन रहता है उसके चलते काफी हमने दबाव या बिकवाली देखा है in the oil and gas sector. It has been in a slide. And if you look at the trend line support from where this sector has shown a tendency of a bounce back, it does give me strong confidence that many of the stocks from the oil and gas space will see a good recovery in the month of December. Now, stocks like a BPCL, HPCL, and oil and the ONGC, somewhere Reliance too will be a beneficiary in this. I feel this will see a recovery rally. This is a good opportunity, an excellent risk reward payoff if you go long in these names at the current level. So oil and gas and pharma are the two sectors on my watch list for the month of December. तो FIIs की पोजीशनिंग की तो मैंने बात कर ली. 22% था लास्ट मंथ में. This month we start with around 33% in the index future segment. So that's a very strong positioning for the FIIs at the beginning. Strong in the sense compared to the last month, it's a recovery which we are seeing right now. These numbers may improve. That is the assumptions we are going with, and somewhere we believe that the FIIs action too slows down in December, and that will help in the revival or recovery of the market, because they have been in a very strong selling spree the last couple of months. Also, if you look at the DII, that is the domestic institutional action, they have been supporting, they have been reviving our Indian markets, and their support should see or help in this recovery rally. Now, what will be the technical levels to watch for? So technically मैंने आपको दो तीन चीजें बताई है. कहीं ना कहीं 23,200-300 का एक जोन है, वो बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग सपोर्ट है. We are around the levels of 23,800-900 as we close today. So will this levels hit on the lower end? That's a question mark. The probability is very low. So even if it drifts down, you have no worry. That's why I'm mentioning that this is the support. It may or may not test, so do not be concerned about buying at the support. You start your buying levels from the current market rate where we stand right now, and be prepared for upside resistance of around 24,500 and the best case scenario to 24,800 for the month of December. What will be the key events you should be looking forward to in the month of December? One is, the good thing is now we are more FNO stocks which can be traded. 45 new stocks in FNO have been added from today, to the likes of Zomato, Swiggy, Bombay Stock Exchange. These are some of the stocks which are starting their futures and options journey. Geo Finance. So, these stocks will also give you more confidence, give you more trading opportunities, because all these stocks have been in an excellent bull run till now. Second is the RBI outcome on December of 6th. That will see some momentum pick up in Bank Nifty. Levels have very clearly mentioned, target the breakout zone in Bank Nifty. We are at the upside resistance. If that breakout happens, it's a 4-month-long breakout. Expect fireworks with Bank Nifty moving up till 54,000. So it is all subject to the breakout. Probably by 6th of December, we get a fair idea if this breakout happens or not. The only problem right now what we are facing is the geopolitical and global news. Every odd day, recently at least, the flow has been a bit painful, because the tensions escalate on a given day, and other day there is a news of ceasefire. So really these news will keep you on your toes, on the edge of your seats. But monitor this news, because right now that's the flavor of the market. If this flavor dies down, really you have no reason to worry, because these escalations are temporary. This news has been on since last 8 months to 1 year, and really unless some serious war scenario breaks through, there is no risk, at least in terms of the global news as I see right now. Low liquidity and FII flows are the other two factors which I've already mentioned in our prior talk. Now, what will be the best strategy now for the Nifty index? This is only for the derivative traders who are using options as a trading instrument. So our expectations, or our view when we build the strategy, is that we are expecting a broader range for the Nifty. We are targeting a pullback rally, yes, but somewhere the broader range which we figure should work out for the December month is 23,500 on the lower end to 24,700 on the upside. So to play this range, we devise an iron condor strategy where we gain or make maximum profit if Nifty stays in this range during the entire month. So although we think of pullback rally, even if we hit 24,700 and kind of pull back again, this strategy makes profit for you. How you devise this strategy is you sell a 23,800 put, that's your support area, and you sell a 24,700 call. So by selling calls and puts, you are devising a box, a bracket, a range where possibly the Nifty might remain confined in. So this is the range which you play, and you are playing for a time depreciation of the options premium for the December month. Now, just to cover your risk in case of any escalation or the prices going beyond the range, you are buying calls and puts. So in this case, just to see that your puts are safe, we buy a 23,300 put as a hedge. And just to keep our calls for selling safe, we are buying a 25,200 call. So it depends on an individual risk appetite. If you really don't want to buy the wings of this butterfly or an iron condor strategy, the extreme ends, you don't want to buy and spend more money. You are also free to set a naked short strangle by selling a 23,300 put and a 25,200 call. So all these combinations can work out, but the whole idea is the broader range where we are expecting December month should be is 23,500 to 24,700. So to conclude, it's a short presentation, a webinar from my side. Expecting a recovery. December lows are done. November lows are done. It's in place. We do not expect lows to be revisited. Start hunting for stocks. Keep your shopping list ready. Expecting a recovery bounce in the month of December, where targets of 24,700 should be in the making. If you are directly buying a direction, taking a direction on the market, go for the stocks which we have been recommending in our baskets. We have actively recommended a lot of stocks. 7x7 baskets is the latest one offering from the technical desk. That should work well. If not, you are more keen on the derivative side, this is the strategy which should work well for our derivative traders. So this is in a nutshell the entire path for the month of December. We will open the floor for the question.
How do I read the trend of the market?
When you look at the trend of the market, now this is a very good question because, where is the bottom, where is the top? These all questions keep on bothering us. So people who are not really conversant with the technical jargons and the technical terms and are not able to really identify on charts, you are in the learning phase. My advice would be use a very simple instrument, that is a moving average. Plot a normal chart of the Nifty or any stock you choose. Just plot 50-day moving average in case you are a medium-term trader or a short-term trader. A 100-day moving average if your view is for a couple of months. And if you are a long-term trader, plot a 200-day moving average on this price chart. If your prices are above this moving average, depending on the time horizon you choose, you are in a positive trend. If it is going down, you are in a negative trend. This is the basic rule for a trend following system. And really you have to be with the trend because trend is your friend. That's what the technicals have to say. So follow the simple moving average system in case you are finding it hard on the technical side. And I would be following this in case, I do not use technicals. The moving average concept really works well and does wonders for whatever time duration you choose.
Please provide a brief explanation of derivatives and the time to enter and exit the script with chart reading.
So derivatives is a leverage market. So capturing the momentum and timing the entry is the key aspect when you choose any derivative instrument. Because especially if you're dealing with futures, it's all about your risk-reward payoff when you take a trade. Because you have to take a trade or enter a trade when your risk is minimal and your rewards are great. Because if you get it wrong, futures is going to take a big chunk of your money away. So stop losses are a must. Now, when you use options, the ball game is entirely different here because options is all about the Greeks, the various Greeks like the thetas, the deltas, the vegas. So you need to have a fair understanding of all these jargons, how they affect the premium move, how they affect the movement of the stock to the movement of the options. This is all things which you have to have a basic knowledge on before you take up options as an instrument. So my whole thought is, if you are using futures, you should take an entry in a stock or an index when it is trading at a support. If you are selling it, you should take an entry when it is trading at a resistance. Now, really, what is support or resistance? Support and resistance can be found out on the technical parameters A or on the derivative parameters. Now, if you are using derivative parameters, really you have to open the option chain and see where the highest total open interest is in the calls. If you are selling a stock, calls will help you figure out a resistance for the stock. In terms of puts, you have to find out where the entire chain, where the highest open interest number is. If you see that number at a particular strike, that defines the supports for it. So whenever the price hits such an important number at the support, you look for buying opportunities. At the call highest open interest point to look for selling opportunities. This would make life more simple for you. So follow this option chain and the rule which I gave you of buying at support, selling at resistance if you are using futures instrument. If you want to take a low risk at the same time, go for options buying. So the rule stays the same. Buy calls when we are trading at support, and sell puts buy puts when we are trading at the resistance. So this will give you a very fair risk reward ratio, which is the crux when you take a trade in the derivative segment.
How to interpret stock options data and open interest data for options buying?
See, when you buy options, traditionally what we look at is prices should go up, open interest should go up. Now, really that means that majority of people are on the buy side of trade. That's rule number one. I'll keep it more simple because this is a webinar with limited time. The second is, if you want to go short on the stock, choose stocks where the prices have been falling and the open interest is rising. It clearly means that there are short bets in the system. Now, once this ground is ready for you, really you need to go back to the option chain, see where the supports and the resistance are based on the total open interest readings. Once you have a fair view of the entire roadmap as to where my support is, where my resistance is, you do not take a trade when you are in between this range. When you are at the extreme end of the range, that is near the support, go for a buy trade. At the near the resistance, go for a sell trade. Now again, which strike to choose is a question mark when you trade in options, because if you are very sure that when you buy the stock and you want the stock, you are expecting the stock to move the very next day or a day before or the day after, then you should be targeting stocks which are at the money. Means you buy strikes where the spot of the stock is spot prices. So for example, if Reliance is trading at 2200, then you should be buying a strike of 2200. So what will happen is, if Reliance moves by 20 rupees, your at the money call ideally will move by 0.5. That's we call delta is half of 20 rupees is 10 rupees. So that's how it works. So if you're sure on the momentum timing factor, go for at the money. If you are not sure on timing factor, but hell sure that this stock is going to go 40-50 rupees up or going to show a major upside, then only go for deep OTM calls, because here you are paying premiums for the time, or the time value as we call it. And even if you take some more time in achieving your targets, buying cheaper options in this case should work well for you.
What trading strategy should be used for Nifty futures?
See, whenever you are trading instrument as a futures, right? I always suggest that never go for naked buying in futures, because your risk is unlimited. You are trading in a leveraged product. If things go wrong, or if you get into a scenario where you buy Nifty and you suddenly have a gap down the very next day, maybe this can also happen for stocks. So I always suggest that whenever you trade in an instrument like futures, you always need to have a contra position by buying an option. So for example, if you are buying a future, see to it that simultaneously you are also buying a put at the same time. Now what will happen is, this put will be more of a confidence or a morale booster. Say you get into a situation where today you feel Nifty might open positive, you have a positive view at the levels of 24,000 where it closed today, you're buying a futures, and God forbid, but if Nifty opens 200 points gap down on Monday, what would be your strategy? What would you do with your futures? Because your loss keeps on escalating here. So consider this plan where when you buy a future, immediately you are buying a put at the same time. That strike which you choose can be slightly deep OTM or ATM. That depends on how confident you are on the Nifty going up. But the whole crux is buy puts whenever you buy futures, or whenever you are shorting futures, buy calls. So this will give you that level of confidence, that level of thought, that extra time once the market behaves against you as to what your next game plan should be. So it's very essential that you should have a contra bet or a hedge bet whenever you trade in futures. That's the advice for trading in futures.
Thank you, Akshay.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.